Hey, everybody, and welcome back for another episode of The Overlay, a poker podcast brought to you today exclusively by CCG Poker, your number one spot for charity poker in the Midwest. I'm your host,
That was a
Ken.
good promo.
What?
That was a nice little
Yeah, it's
radio.
not bad. That's my radio voice.
there.
Yeah,
I
like doing my radio voice. It's kind of like a thing I do now. Radio voice it up.
Radio Ken.
I'm
You should just make your new Twitter handle Radio Ken.
Radio Ken. Hey, everybody, this is Ken from CCG Radio, bringing you the hits live.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it was funny. I was watching, there was an old, 70s TV show called, Cincinnati Radio or, Good Morning Cincinnati.
Well, there's Good Mornings. There's WKLB and
Is that the TV show?
Yeah, the guy just died from it, right?
Okay, that's probably why I saw the meme on Twitter, which is wild because
WKRB in Cincinnati.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah, I don't remember the name of the television show, but that was definitely that. I didn't know he died. That's kind of sad. That I was like, oh, that was a cool ass show. I remember watching that as a kid, on whatever Nick at Night. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's fucking crazy now? You know what's on Nick at Night now? Friends. Friends is on Nick at Night. Seinfeld. I don't know if Seinfeld's on there, but Friends. Lindsay and I,
depressing.
My wife and I watch Friends. When we used to do The Office, but now that The Office is off Netflix, and it's a pain in the ass to watch anything else. Now we watch regular TV like we did 15 years ago, and you just turn on Nick at Night and watch a couple episodes of Friends and then fall asleep and then go to bed later. That's the exciting life of Ken at home. That's what I do. But anyways,
back in the day, it was Bewitched, I Love Lucy.
Right. I love Lucy. I
Monsters.
do love Lucy. The Monsters, yes. So good. That television is lost now. It's
and then it got late when it was Taxi.
Dude, I love
Cheers.
Taxi. Yes.
And Cheers. And what was the one? Laverne and Shirley.
I like Laverne and Shirley. All of those were great shows.
Yeah, I knew I was staying up late when it got to Taxi.
You knew you were staying up late when you woke up and all you could see was the American flag and the national anthem playing, and then all of a sudden going, "We're off the air," and then it was static until 5 a.m. That shit doesn't happen anymore. Anyways,
nope.
It's because things like podcast and streaming survived, and that's what people do now. Hey, everybody, Ken here from The Overlay, brought to you today by CCG and Brandon. Anyways, that cool thing about that guy I was talking about was one, he had awesome balding but long hair, but he actually kind of pulled it off. He had these big aviator glasses on. But then on the table, in the studio, I was looking at the mic first. I was like, that's kind of a cool mic, and it's kind of exactly the same. Microphones apparently haven't really improved in 50 years. They look exactly the same. There's an arm with some springs on it, and there's a puffy thing in front of it. It's cool as shit. And then I noticed in front of him, in the foreground of the picture, were two turntables, and that's how he played music for the radio station. And I was just
there you go.
It's kind of cool. And vinyl's the new iPod now. People want to buy everything on vinyl. You can't even buy a CD anymore. All I can buy my newest albums on is either vinyl or digital. That's all that's offered.
Right, you can't even go get a CD.
Yeah, tapes.
The middle era is gone.
Laser discs, those aren't a thing anymore. What am I going to do with my entire laser disc collection?
Remember, this was supposed to be a short episode.
Right, I'm already wasted 4 minutes. Okay, everybody. Hey, it's Ken and Brandon here. Quickly bringing it back in. Today we're going to talk about it's exclusively brought to you by CCG Poker today because we want to talk about. We were going to do a poker scene update, but really we're going to be selfish this one time and not include anything else. We're just going to talk about charity poker because a lot of cool stuff has happened since the end of last year. And Brandon's epic run in the main event, which were our 3 most popular episodes of the year, exponentially. They were great. So that kind of spawned, I think, maybe even subconsciously, we were just talking so much about the main event and how well Brandon played. So again, congratulations, Brandon. You're the only member on Team CCG, and you kind of crushed it. We're proud of you.
It was a little bit of luck.
Hey,
but yeah,
I'd rather be.
I'm
lucky.
Sure I'll start 1 for 1, and I'll end my career 2 for 30.
2 for 30. Well, hopefully the second bullet is this one. But as we were talking, and then Brandon and I were like, hey, Brandon's like, I'm 100% going to go back next year. And the nice thing is because at the end of the episode, that part 3 of your epic run, and I keep calling it the epic run because that's what I named it on the podcast. And some people gave me shit about that, but I don't care. It was an epic run. If you don't like it, go listen to another podcast. Good luck finding one that's as good as this one.
It's true.
It really
It's
is
tough.
true. Can we also? Okay, I'm gonna bring all my brain together. Here we go. So at the end of that episode, the lady said to you, what was her infamous words? Because you were kind of upset because you kind of, it wasn't Bad Beats. Listen to the episodes you had, but you were
full on Manoli. Like I could have just cried.
You were full emo, Richie. You were Richie. You were emoing it up. Shout out to Itchy and Mimo.
Itchy.
Shout out to Richie and Manolo. Anyways, go ahead. What does she tell you at the end? Because this is like end of November. Hit us
She's
up.
She's like, hey, good news is you got another whack in 6 months.
6
Or
months.
something like that. She was like,
7 months.
See you in 6 months.
Normally she says there's always
See you
next year, and that ain't even a thing this year. Because this year we going back to Vegas in July. And then I was like 100% Brandon, like I'm so in. I couldn't go because of COVID and just in general, like we were, long story short, like I'm blaming.
Well, we were talking. Yeah, you want me to talk?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you done talking?
No, not yet.
Okay. We were having our little year-end meeting, and we were talking about the promo in 2022 and, what to do, and does the high hand work, and do players really like it? Or
we've been doing the high hand for a really long time, basically all of post-pandemic poker. Go ahead.
Right. And, and then we were like, you know what? Why don't we just do something big? And he's like, well, how big? He's like, give away a car big? And I was like, well, calm down on the car, maybe 2023.
Tesla.
But give away a Tesla. But for 2022, why don't we just give away a main event seat? And
my response was,
do that?
You're never going to be able to pull that off. It's going to be a pain in the ass.
How are we going to do that? Because, 70% of the promo money comes from the cash game guys. And, we're trying to give away tournaments. How are you going to get tournament guys and cash game guys together? How are we going to come up with 20,000? And so I just went to the drawing board and we came up with the race to 20,000, whatever you call it. I didn't name it.
Yep. I name everything.
So
just
we're giving away a main event seat. You
seat.
name most things.
Well, I was going to say, like, you were saying you were 100% going. I was like, I'm 100% going this year. And then we were like, it'd be cool to give away a main event seat at CCG. And I was like, that would be cool, but I don't know if it's doable. And then Brandon came up with a really great idea of how it's doable to get one lucky person to join Team CCG as well as myself. So we're going to go 3-man deep, or 2 guys and a gal, whatever the case may be. We're going to go to Vegas in July and be
all 3 play the main.
Team CCG in the main. And like I'm so excited about that. I'm excited for myself. I'm excited that we get to bring somebody, and like, in all honesty, like, the main event is something that every poker player, no matter where you land on the poker scale of, like, are you playing at the kitchen table with your friends? Do you play on an app? Did you play in the online dates? Like, it doesn't matter. Did you play 7-card stud in your basement with your grandparents? Like, everybody knows what the main event is. Everybody wants to go. It's basically the entire plot of the movie Rounders is how he can get to the main event. It's just, it's every poker player's dream. If they admit it or not, it is. Correct?
Absolutely. And absolutely. I don't even play tournaments anymore.
Me neither.
Or Hold'em. I don't play Hold'em and I don't play tournaments.
Yep.
And I'm excited about it.
I am too. I don't know how well I'm going to do. I did just buy the Masterclass pass for this year.
Great.
So I am going to watch the Daniel Negreanu How to Play Poker. I'm really hoping that helps my poker game, because the 2-card Ken's not great. 4-card Ken,
to be fair, it can't
4-card
hurt.
Ken can get it done occasionally. 2-card Ken, that guy sucks.
He's not very good.
He's
but
like
we got time.
Pepsi Zero. Like, he ain't going to make it.
And the good news, or
Clear
Pepsi won. Pepsi won. Remember that?
I don't drink Pepsi.
Anyways,
it's gross.
I like Pepsi. Anyways, so we got the promo up and running. We already have 10 people qualified. 20% of the field.
Well, give us the breakdown of, like, what it is. So for January, February, March, quick, April, May.
Yeah. It's just basically the tournament side is the points list.
Mm-hmm.
You place in the top 5 in the tournament, you earn points. The points has a scale based on the buy-in size and the venue.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some venues that are less desirable than others. And those venues, you have an incentive with some bonus points to go.
Right.
But long story short is you place in the top 5 in the tournament, you earn points. and the top 5-point earners for the month make it into the qualifying into the free roll. The free roll is the second Saturday of June.
Yep.
I believe.
I think June 11th, I think.
Yep, June 11th, June 12th, something in there. And it's at Warrenville. It's a noon start. It's basically a deep stack structure, so you're not just like qualifying into some like quick little turbo
15-minute levels.
15K, 15 minutes. So I mean that's
close
enough time
to a deep stack. Not quite deep stack, but I mean it's deep. I mean this isn't like, because so many people think free roll and they're just like,
right. They're like, oh, you're all in.
What a waste.
That's
no,
what I'm
like
saying. It's a turbo.
Blinds are going to start 100, 100. You're going to start with 15K in chips if you do the $5 or $10 out, whatever it is. And bam. I mean, like, that's sick.
And I think people also fail to realize it's a $20,000 free roll.
Correct.
With the whole entire final table getting paid. So 10 of the 50 people are getting paid. And
20%. 1 out of 5. Get at least $500 cash. That's the worst you can do. You make the final 10.
Second place is a $2,500 seat package, too. It's like, if you get second, it's not even bad.
Nope. Third, I think third, 4, 5, and 6, they all do $1,000 packages, and then the last 3 spots
7,
get
8, 9,
500.
10.
Yeah, whatever the finish is. It's all on the website.
But it's pretty nice and juicy for everybody.
Right.
And
so five tournament players every month, and they're the top 5 points winners. You win points
if you qualify points by getting the top 5.
And then cash game side, you can also qualify if you're only a cash game player. The top 5
hours played.
You get 1 point per hour. That can't. It's probably going to be a massive blowout, right? Like the people who win are probably going to win by a ton in the sense of like when they qualify each month. Let's just do a recap since today's like February 1st. What was the difference between 5th place qualified and 6th place didn't qualify last month in January, Brandon?
Well, it was 1 point on the tournament side, the minimum, and it was 45 minutes in the cash side.
Less than an hour for the cash game peeps, and less. Well, it can't be less than 1 point. It was exactly 1 point, meaning the guy who was in 5th place got knocked into 6th place because it was Billy, my boy Billy. I love Billy. Billy grinded.
Fun fact. It was the late night tournament on Sunday that the guy got. Swear to God, guy got 2nd place and ousted him by 1 point.
That's awesome.
I don't know how many people played in that Sunday late night. Probably only 10 or something like that. But that was the value of showing up to the late nights.
The last day, promo. The last chance.
And he got needed 2nd. 3rd place was 2 points less. He would have lost by a point.
I think Billy was playing 2-5 at that point too, kind of reverse sweating. Is there a thing called reverse sweating?
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
It's the anti-sweat.
Anti-sweat.
I do it to Jordan.
But it's been great. Like the charity poker scene in Chicago, or at CCG, I should say, because it's really all we're going to talk about. The charity poker scene this past month has been wild. I mean, it's
probably our best month since the 2000s.
I mean, it's the best. It's like a poker boom again. Like you're getting 80 to 90 in the early bird. You're getting 3-4 tables in the second chance, which is now the old tweener. We're calling it the second chance now because really the 4:00 tournament on Thursdays and Fridays is really for the people who bust in the bird that aren't cash game players and want to play a second tournament. So ergo, second chance.
And when there's 90 in the bird, that means 60 of them are out by 4:00 to play the second tournament.
I mean,
as opposed to 40 in the bird and
60,
only 20
30 are out. But you know where Brandon's going. There's more players out, so that means there's more people to get in, and then the people who can't make the bird and come later, it gives them incentive to go. Like, it's great. Like, this promotion really seems to be working. I have not gotten this many. Normally, when there's a new promo, there's lots of complaints. I don't like it. You shouldn't have done that. You should do something different. This sucks. Like,
nobody cares.
Nobody cares. That's the worst thing is the indifference. I actually don't mind complaints because at least then they know about it. Just to get nothing in, it's like, man, what a waste of time and promotional money. Like, that sucks. But we have gotten such a great response from all of us. And then you get guys like Art, who won the January points list. Super Crusher. Like, he was in first. And whatever you just did, stop.
Sorry. I switched back. It went to my car.
That's okay. He's a Super Crusher in January and then decides that, like, it's not good enough to just get in the top 5. Like, he wanted to be the first place person. Even though
he played every tournament the whole last weekend, even though he was locked and loaded.
And was jumping into cash game like in between. Like the man was just a heat-seeking missile of poker, and it was awesome. But a lot of people seem to be doing that, and that's really great. I mean, there's been 4 or 5 cash games at every single event, sometimes upwards of 6 or 7. Different games have been spread. 2-5 has been getting off. PLO has been getting off, other than just on Fridays. That used to just be a Friday game. Now it's like...
Right, we got PLO off last Saturday for the first Saturday since pre-COVID. Like 2019 was the last
correct
Saturday PLO.
Same thing about 2-5. 2-5 used to just kind of only be at Oak Lawn. Now 2-5 on Friday has been a guarantee between like 4-5, really closer to 5:30. 2-5 rips off, but the same thing happened on Saturday. Same thing happened on Sunday. Sunday actually happened a little bit earlier, like 4 o'clock.
And you got guys that are walking in, like asking for 2-5, like they expect it to be off.
Correct.
In 2019, 2-5, like, yeah, it's a pipe dream, buddy.
Never gonna happen.
You need every one of our 2-5 players to all be in the room at the same time in order for 2-5 to get off.
Yep. Basically,
you need Anthony, Mike, and Pat, all 3 to be there.
Yep.
With bodybuilder Andy, and then like a couple other, and then Greek John, then 2 randoms.
Yep.
Now it's like, oh, you got
and
2-5?
you need Jenny to go deep in the tournament, because if she doesn't,
So
then
John
Greek John
doesn't go.
leaves, and then the game busts, and then you got nothing. So like, you got 8 guys rooting for Jenny to finish deep in the tournament, because if she doesn't, then John's going to leave with their winnings, and nobody wants that. Which is great. It's the dynamics of poker. Nobody realizes these things.
So now it was interesting to see a little bit of a lull at the end of the month. I feel like some people realized that it was like, oh,
It's
wow,
funny.
you know what?
The new low. Go ahead.
Is high. Yeah, the new low is still better than it used to
It's
be.
like, oh man, there's only 4 games on a Sunday. Man, 2 weeks ago we had 7. We had 6 games with 8 people on the list and no tables. And I was
we
just
could
like,
open 9 games if we had the dealers and the tables.
correct. I was just like, wow, that's awesome. This is what the horseshoe feels like in a smaller scale.
This is what the horseshoe. But it's interesting to see this being the first week. If you get kind of a rush of people that are like,
A new
I want to
spike.
get out of the gate.
Because again, the other thing that everybody gets, you get a reprieve. 10 players are already qualified. So like if you're like, oh, I'm never going to qualify from the cash game because so-and-so goes all the King,
Well, the 5
perfect
regs,
example.
the 5 biggest regs are
They're
all
done. They're out.
They're gone.
They cannot qualify twice, which means now your secondary tier of like semi-regs who play, maybe half of the events or a third of the events, now they're going to be more likely to do it, which hopefully they will come a little bit longer. So like everything builds on itself. 5 new cash game guys and 5 new tournament players are going to get in, which is great. And your arts and the people who got in last month are still going to keep playing because they're just regulars in general. They don't even count anymore. Do they get to earn points, or they just those points are just gone?
They just do not count. Yeah, I mean,
they just don't count, which is great.
And it's also something along the lines of, if you look at the cash game hours, the top 5 had over they were around 100, which is a ton, but
there were some points multipliers that they got for certain spots,
and we'll get into that. I think kind of the end for the people that make it to the end of this episode. We'll give the keys on how to maximize your.
There's also another special present at the end of this episode, but keep going.
And I really think that if you look at 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, it was more so 50 hours is what they had. So if you take out those guys that all had 100, they already qualified.
Mm-hmm.
And now you look at, 50 hours might be close to qualifying. You bump it up a little bit because they're racing. Instead of 100 hours needed in January, you might only need 70 in February.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe only 50 in March. And then I think it'll probably cap out around there.
Yeah, there's going to be a norm that's going to hit. And I think
but
that's
you got these guys all out of the way. It's pretty exciting to see.
Your super regs, because your Castros, your Arts, the guys that come every weekend, play a couple of tournaments a weekend, and they're good players on top of it. They're going to do well, and they're already in, which means you ain't got to worry about them. No mo. They go.
Now, I will say the Lewis kid, I don't really know him, but he qualified in the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure he didn't play a single deep stack.
Okay, in the top 5, 1, 2, 3, 100% come every weekend. Benchen, Art, and Castro all come all the time. So those 3 regs gone. So that's kind of awesome. And they didn't get a ton of points. I mean, Art crushed it. I mean, he got 71 points, which is a ton of cashes. But like again, if you take out some of these players that are going to be gone, I mean, I think the new norm is going to be, like you said, around 50 points will be a classic time. I mean, you're talking about
with 50 points is 5 early birds shipped in a month. Obviously, that's insane, but like that's like 2 early bird winners and 1 big deep stack winner, and that's 40 points.
What are some of the secret spots to get points that we're going to put out there for our podcast listeners?
I mean, you just got to go to Warrenville for cash games and Batavia for tournaments. Batavia for anything. Go to Batavia. And I know it's not Super Bowl, but it's double points.
Yeah, and we're doing free pizza. I'm going to buy pizza for everybody.
Cash.
We're going to do some cool stuff
cash
for
all
the
day.
Super Bowl.
It's 24 hours.
Yep.
And on top of that, secret tip number 2, if you get there before the start of the event, you get that whole first hour.
Yep.
So you buy chips at 1:45. You don't even sit down and play till 1:58, but you got credit for 1 to 2.
Right.
And on Sunday, you show up at 11:45.
Yep.
You get credit from 11, and that's double. So you just got 2 hours for
2
showing
points
up at 11:45 instead of 12:10.
Yep.
Get there at 11:45. Gain 2 hours. 2 hours is a lot. Also, make sure you check out when you bust and you leave all heated and upset that the guy busted your ace king with Jack 7 off.
Or you crush double up, like then also makes you, and you hit and run. Hit a run or piston run.
Make sure you go and check out, because you're only getting 2 hours of time if we don't know what time you left.
Correct. It is on the players to do that. All right, well, let's switch gears a little bit, because that is the kind of state of poker in.
That's how we're crushing it.
It's been really busy. Like, I know it's winter, and we're at Bridgeview a lot, and we're hitting up some of our kind of hot spots. So it should be better, but it's busier than normal, 100%, which is great. I'm very excited about it. So hopefully that will continue through the first half of the year. And if this works so well, I think this could be like a new thing that we're doing at CCG, is just giving away main event seats. Maybe we'll give away 2 seats, because we're really gonna have to wait like a whole year. Like,
well, we can do a 40. We can just do 12 months of it and do like a 40K free roll next year.
Oh my good!
Just do 12 months of it and double everything.
Let us know. Hit us up on the socials.
2 main event seats.
Should we do 2 free rolls next year for the 2023 main event? Should we do something different? I don't know. We're gonna have to see. Or do 6 months and do a free roll, and then just know 6 months in advance that you're going to the main event. Would that be cool? Maybe. Give you a lot of time to practice. And then you just do another one. It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited about this. But what else was I really excited about that we found out from our boy Liam? Didn't come through, but what happened?
Oh, you can tell him.
No,
you were very excited.
I am.
So what is it? Poker News?
Global
Poker News has
Poker Index, the GPI Awards. That's what it's called.
GPI, I think that's done. Okay, GPI Awards, whatever. I think they're partnered with Poker News.
Yeah,
anyways,
sure.
It's like the top 4 get actually nominated of, like, streamer of the year, podcast of the year,
vlogger of the year,
up and coming poker pro,
player of the year. Right.
Yeah, player of the year. They just have all these awards for the end of the year.
End of the year, tournament director of the year.
4 get nominated. Yeah. 4 get nominated, a dealer of the year too. 4 get nominated, but about 15 get nominated to be nominated.
And how many podcasts were nominated? I think like 8.
8 or 12.
8 or 9. Yeah, I mean it wasn't quite 15. It was a little bit less than that. But Liam did come up to us and tell us that, hey, the overlay did get mentioned. I was like, well, we
were on the ballot.
You wrote us in
on the ballot.
Or like. And he's like, no, you were on the ballot. And then he's like, I obviously told everybody that I knew you guys and that you were awesome, that they should listen to us. But hey, it's nice to get noticed at least a little bit. I mean,
right. So there was a ballot of 10 podcasts and 4 of them made the finals. We did not make the final 4.
We didn't make the final 4.
But we were on the ballot.
We're on the ballot. We're making moves. So maybe next year.
It's not like you had to apply. You didn't have to.
We didn't even know.
Like,
we would have never known we were on the ballot, except Liam did some work for Poker News during the WSOP, which is how your article got on.
Vote.
So he got to vote as one of like the media persons, he got to vote, or he's one of the industry people that gets to vote. And kind of like the Oscars have like the Screen Actors Guild or some shit, foreign press, whatever those.
Or I was thinking the Baseball Hall of Fame had the Baseball Writers Association.
There
whatever.
you go. I went much more Bravo than you did. That's great. But yeah, it was very cool. So we're flattered, and hopefully next year we can do better. And considering Team CCG is going to crush the main event, we're going to finish 1, 2, 3 in the main for a combined $12 million in cash.
Yes, that's a lot of millions.
And then there won't be any more podcast episodes or charity poker in Illinois.
I will definitely retire. I'll tell you what, I'll do one goodbye.
One massive free roll. If I win the main event, I will do like 100K free roll at the end. If I'm allowed to do that, I'll just give it away. I don't know.
Teslas the first, second, and third.
Top 3 people get Teslas. I guess it's more like 400K. Okay, so top person to get a Tesla, and then we'll throw some like little prizes out, like Miatas or something.
Yeah, I like it.
It'll be great. Thanks for listening to episode 61, Charity Poker Scene in Chicago. We're coming back to Texas soon. I'm actually going to Texas tonight in about 6 hours to do the Stacks tournaments in Paramount. So hopefully you're listening to this episode. Come over and say hello to me at Paramount this weekend. They have their Tournament of Champions. I actually think this works so well in Chicago, we might start doing it in Houston as well. So we'll see what happens. No promise. We might have to recruit some Texas people to be on Team CCG. We'll see how it goes. Other than that,
I like Texas.
Yeah, Texas is so cool. I love Texas. Thanks for listening. Catch us next time. Follow us on Twitter at The Overlay Pod. Other than that, we'll see you at the events this weekend. I mean, not me, but you'll see Brandon. And then you'll see me in Texas. So cool. We're out. Send us off, Brandon.
Farewell, all.
Farewell, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.